chair recognizes gentleman from Massachusetts for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the ranking member. Since the testimony is so contradictory in this case, I'd like to at least refer to some of the physical evidence that we have before the committee. Mr. Clemens, early in the investigation, you provided the committee with a transcript of a secretly taped interview conducted by two of your investigators. The interview was with Brian McNamee, and it took place at Mr. McNamee's home on December 12, 2007. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. During the interview, Mr. McNamee, you told investigators that that you had injected Mr. Clemens with Winstrol, a steroid, in 1998, and your exact testimony is that, well, actually, that he probably developed an abscess on his buttocks as a result of the injection, and you said, quote, "It was probably my fault because Winstrol, I learned later that you're not supposed to inject it quickly. You're supposed to do it very slowly. That way it dispenses slowly. If you do it quickly, then it settles in a pool of fat, and that is how an abscess is formed, and that's what happened. So it was probably my fault." Now, being under oath today, is that basically correct as far as your testimony goes regarding that incident?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In pursuit of further information on this, we in the committee asked for medical records during this time period. And a medical record from July 28, 1998 was provided by the Toronto Blue Jays at the time that said that there was a palpable mass, quote unquote, on the right buttock of Mr. Clemens. On another record, it also noticed a similar mass on the left buttock. And the July 28th record said also that Roger received a B12 injection approximately 7 to 10 days ago into his right buttock from Dr. Taylor at the Sky Dome. So we brought in Dr. Taylor and asked him some questions about this. He said that he did give a B12 shot to Mr. Clemens, but he could not remember exactly when.
I know it's highly irregular. May I, as counsel to Roger Clemens, please address the point of the congressman for 1 moment, please?
The rules of the committee provide that counsel may advise their clients but not speak directly to the hearing itself.
Well, Mr. Chairman...
Reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I would request that I be permitted, given
I'm sorry, the rules don't provide it. Please talk to your client and have him answer any questions that are outstanding.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reclaiming my time, if I may. During our investigation, we also asked Dr. Taylor about whether he thought the B12 shot that he gave to Mr. Clemens could have caused the mass on his buttocks. He told us that this was unlikely. He stated that he had given close to 1,000 B12 shots in his medical career, and he had never seen a complication like the one presented with Mr. Clemens. The head trainer, we also questioned Tommy Craig, the head trainer. He also told he had never seen a side effect like the one exhibited by Mr. Clemens from a B12 shot in 30 years as a trainer. As well, we asked the assistant trainer, Scott Shannon, in a career of almost 20 years, he said that he had never seen a B12 shot cause that kind of reaction. Based on the MRI results, it also appears definitive that the mass was not caused by a strained glute or other muscle strain. In addition, we have Mr. Canseco's testimony that on numerous occasions, he had conversations with Mr. Clemens regarding cycling and stacking of steroids as well. Given the physical testimony, the physical evidence that we've had there that seems to be consistent with much of what Mr. McNamee is saying, Mr. Clemens, how am I supposed to receive this testimony? As someone who's simply looking for the truth and looking it to be supported by the physical evidence, this is not supportive of your claim. Much of this is supportive of Mr. McNamee's assertions. And I just want, as someone who went through all of this, I want you to explain to me the import of this evidence. How can this all be wrong? Help me here.
Mr. Chairman, could I just ask a second? He's inserted into the record a report by Dr. Murphy. We ask unanimous consent to insert into the record a report by Dr. Bert W. O'Malley, Professor and Chair of Molecular and Cellular Biology.
Mr. Davis,
It comes to a much different conclusion.
we will take whatever you want into the record, but this is Mr. Lynch's time.
Okay.
Congressman Lynch, if I may, from what I understand, we provided everything that we could possibly provide to the staff. We fully cooperated with everything that was asked of us. I know, obviously, by looking at the medical records, I got a B12 shot, and it obviously gave me some discomfort. I hate to get on Dr. Taylor, who gave the shot, but if he gave me a bad shot, he gave me a bad shot. I don't know how to explain that, but looking at my medical records and fully cooperated, you know, anytime I need an MRI, I've had many MRIs on my body, so again, I don't have any idea. I don't know who the gentleman is that you're expressing this today, but all I can tell you is what I know by my medical reports. We've had a Dr. O'Malley review everything, and he concludes there was no steroids. So I'm doing every due diligent thing that I could possibly think of, and giving the staff everything that I could possibly think of to look wherever they need to look about this subject. So I've not heard that we weren't cooperating on giving you everything that you could possibly need to look into this in any way, shape, or form.
Well, and again, there was difficulty. Some of the information came over quite readily. It was difficult to obtain others, especially this MRI report. But let's get back
to
the simple fact that...
You'll have to conclude. Your time has expired.
Okay. This is not the report of some unknown physician that we're contesting here. This is the reports of Dr. Taylor. This is the reports of the trainer, Mr. Shannon, and others who have said that Scott Shannon, Dr. Ron Taylor, and Melvin Thomas Craig. These are people who are very familiar with this. There's probably 60 years of experience here in giving B12 shots.
Gentleman's time has expired.